Hey guys, UDT here with another Unreal Engine 4 Basics tutorial. In today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to improve upon your character's basic movement functions to help you get the best movement possible for your game. We're going to be looking at max step height, walkable floor angle, max walk speed, can walk off ledges, jump velocity, air control, and falling lateral friction. Now I'm going to be continuing on from the last episode where I showed you how to set up a basic first person character. If you haven't already seen that episode, I would recommend watching it first and then coming back to this one. Just click the annotation at the top right and it will take you straight to the previous video. First thing you're going to want to do is open up the third person character blueprint by double clicking on it and then come over here to the character movement section. Now from here you'll be given a bunch of different options all to do with movement. If you want you can just go through and mess around with them. There are a lot of different options to do a lot of different things. Some do very minor things, some do major things. I'm going to show you some of the major ones that I use myself personally. Now the first one is going to be max step height. So if we come on down here, we have the first option of max step height. It is by default set to 45. Now what this does, if I just come on into the game, is it allows you to walk up different objects at a certain height. So if I was to try walking up this thing here right now, it wouldn't let me, I can try and jump up it, still can't make it, but I can't walk into it. Now that's because it's not high enough. If I increase it to something really high, like 1000, and then I try it to walk into it again, I can just walk straight over it. Now, it will look a little buggy, but I'm just showing you this so you get a general idea of what the settings do. Now, this thing applies to heaps of different things. So if you have like rocks and stuff in your game and you want people to be able to walk up rocks to a certain height, this is the option that you'll use to make sure that you have it set to the perfect height for your game. So if we come back over to character movement, I'm going to press this little arrow here just to reset it to the defaults because I purely want to show you guys all the different options. I don't plan on changing them myself personally. Now the next one we have here is the max walkable height. So as you can see, it's at the 44.76 by default. Now if we change that to 2, and that is 2 degrees, just so you know, and then hit compile and go back into the play game, you'll see there is a little slope here. It's very minor, it's nothing major, but because we've made it to 2 now, it's such a small amount that I can no longer walk over this. So if you have any issues with your character not being able to walk up hills or any kind of slope in your game, it's likely because the max walkable floor angle is not a high enough number, so just double check that by increasing it in your game. Okay, so now if we come back down to the character movement inherited and come down to max walk speed, which is all the way down here, you can see by default it is set to 600. That's a really cool thing you can do with a max walk speed. You don't have to do any coding at all for it. It's great. I know in a lot of other engines you have to code all your movement things, but in Unreal you don't. So I'm just going to double this for the purpose of showing you guys what it does exactly. It should be pretty self-explanatory, but as you can see, I now run around a lot faster. And if you watch my arms, it also increases the animation speed, so it keeps up with the pace you're running at, which is really nifty. Now I'm going to go ahead and reset that back to default. The next thing we're going to have a look at is can walk off ledges. Now you can see by default this is turned on, so I'm going to turn that off and then hit compile. And we're going to go back into the game. And you can see now if I walk into a ledge, I instantly stop. It just doesn't let me fall off the ledge. So this is nifty if you're playing some kind of game and you don't want your player to be able to fall off edges. Or another thing is if you're playing a game like Minecraft, how they have it so whenever you crouch you can't fall off ledges. They have the exact same option here. If you just turn that one on, you'll no longer be able to fall off a ledge whenever you're crouching. Okay, now the next one I'm going to show you guys is the jump Z velocity. Now this one I actually have had fun with in previous games. So by default it is set to 420, but I'm going to increase that to 1000. And now if I just hit spacebar, I'll instantly jump much higher. Now, this is just a really easy way to do like power-ups. You can make it so that you have some kind of blueprint script that will make it that whenever you pick up your power-up, it will set your max jump velocity to whatever amount you want it. And then you can reset it at the end of the cooldown on your power-up. It's what I've done previously in games. It's just a really simple way to get around it in Prototype. I'm going to go ahead and reset that back to the default. The next one I'm going to show you is air control. So by default, this is set to 0.05, and I'll actually just real quick show you exactly what that does. So if I now try jumping and then I hold down the left arrow key and now I try it again, you can see that whenever I jump I just go perfectly straight. But if I come back in here and then I set this to 1, and compile. You'll see that now when I jump, I can actually control which way I can when I can move. So this will be really useful if you're making a parkour game or you want to reduce the restrictions a player has with their movement. But it's super simple. Same with every other one of the settings that I'm showing here. The next one I'm going to show you is lateral friction. So if I increase this to, let's go with 10. Now this is really high. Normally wouldn't increase this high, but this is just to give you an idea of what it does. If I jump and then continue holding W, I'll fall the whole way. If I come back up here and jump and then let go of W part way, you'll see that I instantly lose all my forward momentum and fall. That's what this setting does. It just makes you fall faster. So if you want to have it so your character, the second he lets go of his keys, starts falling or it just falls a bit faster, then you can increase that. Now it's a setting you'll have to mess around with a lot to get it exactly right. You definitely won't have it as high as 10, because 10 makes you just drop instantly. But it can be very useful if you get the settings right. But I'm not actually going to edit anything for this basic character. I really like the default settings that Unreal Engine comes with. I will sometimes increase the player speed, but that's about it really. But everything else I'm just going to switch back to default. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed this video, let me know down in the comments. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you have any issues with the video and you found anything that you got stuck on in the tutorial or don't understand or need help on, let me know down below in the comments and I'll be sure to help you. Anyway guys, see you next time.